Association, supporting you. Kids you need a makeover? Tired of your outdated bathroom? Did a big box store raise more questions than answers? The answer is Stone City. 2 million square feet of marble and granite countertops in 50 colors starting at $26 a square foot. Plus the latest appliances, cabinetry, faucets, and fixtures. Stone City designers transform your dream into reality. Stone City, 3053 West Grand in Chicago, or call 773-533-9806. That's 773-533-9806. Stone City, it's your home.
Only better.
In the early 60s, Charles and Ray Butcher and their 3 daughters earned a trip to Disneyland by collecting S&H green stamps. It was a dream come true. Today, nearly everyone has a wallet or keychain full of loyalty reward cards that they use for discounts, gifts, and even free dinners at their favorite restaurants. For years, an international company has been offering a universal loyalty rewards card in Europe. We call it the Blue Card. One card to replace dozens. The Blue Card offers discounts up to 5% cash back. It accumulates points to shop at participating merchants and an online mall. Today, they're looking for independent representatives to launch this card in the U.S. and Canada. It is free to get the card and free for the representative. You can help launch the Blue Card in your area and get paid wherever it is used. Imagine you could be paid every time someone fills a gas tank, buys groceries, orders an airline ticket, or purchases just about anything. To get your free card and more information, call 800-685-7470. 800-685-7470.
Showtime.
I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, picking up every one of them. Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in. I would have done it.
I have 2 more to go. Never see it coming.
It's time for On Target, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. I'm David Lombardo.
I'm Gretchen Fritz. Tonight, David and I will be talking about Obama's goal to federalize local law enforcement, ATF's attempt to ban common ammunition, Obama is contemplating raising taxes by executive order, and should the government be regulating homeschooling?
So be sure to give us a call at 312-642-5600 or go to Facebook, like our page On Target Radio, and ask a question there.
It's time for David's rant of the weekend.
For quite some time, I've been saying this president is specifically transforming the United States into a communist dictatorship that will be ruled by elite demagogues such as himself. Tribune columnist Eric Zorn said my idea of transformation into a dystopian world was pure fantasy, essentially the hallmark of conservative fear-mongering. Repeated attempts to ban modern sporting rifles is to protect the children, though rarely has the firearm been used to harm children. Banning the enormously popular M855 ammunition that can now be fired from a handgun is to save law enforcement officers, though there isn't a single record of any cop being shot by a handgun firing M855 ammunition. Fast and Furious was to trace the flow of illegal weapons across the border to Mexican drug cartels, but in fact was a set-up deal that the Department of Justice was going to use as an excuse for further U.S. gun control laws. Giving military combat equipment to local law enforcement agencies is to deal with gang violence and terrorism. Yet recipients of the military MRAP, the mine-resistant ambush-protected armored personnel vehicle, and other military-grade weaponry are often small towns and counties geographically spread across the country. Dundee, Michigan, a sleepy community of 3,900, received a free MRAP. Its crime index is 53% lower than the Michigan average, which is 10% lower than the national average. To date, no terrorists have turned the local Bob Evans restaurant into a killing field. In fact, the only threat of killing anyone occurs during the fourth quarter of a tense high school football game. The list of government programs to monitor and control John Q is getting so long, it's difficult to even remember what they are. Red light cameras, speed cameras, now license plate recognition cameras that keep track of who's going where, and 24/7 telephone and email monitoring keeps tabs of private conversations. Did you find it difficult to believe that the federal government intentionally exacerbated the Ferguson, Missouri conflict? That they sent provocateurs to Ferguson specifically to fire up racist interactions so the Department of Justice would have grounds to begin spreading the word that law enforcement is racist? Still doubt Obama's intent? If you hate Obamacare, then check this out: Obama law. Recently, Obama publicly stated, "We have a great opportunity to really transform how we think about community law enforcement relations. We need to seize that opportunity. This is something that I'm going to stay very focused on in the months to come," he said. Obama also publicly called upon the press to support his intent to federalize law enforcement and not to give voice to critics of the program. Look at the pieces. Flooding the country with illegal aliens who will support liberalism and dilute the vote, the continuous attempts to disarm the public by legal or illegal means, the development of nationwide surveillance programs, the militarism of local law enforcement and the intent to federalize it, and then add this. When the president can't muster up enough support for one of his initiatives, he simply doesn't end run around Congress by declaring an executive order. Most recently, he's warned law enforcement at all levels that there would be consequences for anyone that doesn't enforce his immigration policy, even though the courts are saying it's unconstitutional. Obama is not only giving a middle-digit salute to Congress, but also to the courts. Of the three branches of government that run the country, the executive, legislative, and judicial, Obama has marginalized the other two that are meant to serve as a check and balance function against the executive branch. If Obama is no longer fettered by the legislature or the judiciary, if he has national surveillance in place and will soon control local law enforcement, has he not become a de facto dictator? And that, Gretchen, is my rant for the week.
You said something about he's forcing local law enforcement to enforce his immigration policy, and I'm
Right.
thinking, well, his immigration policy is just to let everyone in. So what enforcement is really needed?
They're going to retrain the law enforcement. They're going to make them limo drivers, and they're going to cross the bridge. You know what I'm saying? And pick them up.
Yeah.
Why leave backpacks and heads all over the place when you can transport them? I mean, the man is truly a pathological liar. The Keystone thing.
Well, pathological implies that he doesn't know that he's lying.
That's a very good point.
I think he absolutely knows that he's lying.
This is why you're the
I
editor.
think he's just really good at it.
Yeah, this is why you're the editor. I'm just
I don't know what the adjective is for someone who's just a really good liar, a professional liar.
Liar.
Yeah.
Not to beat the, because we talked about the pipeline, but I just read this thing to justify, in his process of trying to justify why he vetoed the Keystone pipeline. He said Keystone is for Canadian oil to send down to the Gulf. It bypasses the United States and is estimated to create a little over 250, maybe 300 permanent jobs. We should be focusing more broadly on American infrastructure for American jobs and American producers. But the fact is, IHS Energy, it's a sort of consulting firm, said the Canadian crude making its way to the Gulf Coast will likely be refined there, and most of the refined products are likely to be consumed in the United States. And they talk about a concluded 70% of the refined product would be consumed in the U.S. They're talking about moving 65,000 barrels a day immediately up to 100,000. He just basically lied.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the president. It's not like he doesn't know.
Like he doesn't know he's the president.
Right? No, well, he definitely knows that.
He
But
clearly does that.
I mean, this is it's hard to even spit out saying the most powerful man in the world, because I don't think that's true. This is the biggest. Never mind. Can't say that. I know I can't say that, George. But
Euphemism.
yeah, exactly. But he has access to all information.
Oh yeah.
It's not like he doesn't know this stuff.
Oh no, he absolutely knows.
Give us a call, 312-642-5600. This is On Target Radio. We're talking about the veracity of our president, our wuss in chief. this
Liar
state,
in chief.
this liar, this whole police thing is very disturbing. And if you have doubts about it, if you're going, oh, well, it can't happen, I mean, you could never do that, get it past Congress, think about this. First of all, schools, literally, they use federal funds to extort schools to do Common Core.
Absolutely.
And
That's
then
how
the-
they got the states to sign up.
Exactly. And then banking industry with their mortgage rules and giving homes away and all that kind of stuff. Healthcare, Obamacare. Who would have thought 5 years ago you could do that? And yet there it is. So here's the newest thing is Obama law. And listen to what he says, because this is the height of arrogance. It truly is. He says, he instructed his media allies to help a federalization of policing and to sideline critics of centralized policy rules. He said, I expect our friends in the media to really focus on what's in this report and pay attention to it. He wants to expand control over local law enforcement, local and state law enforcement, by attaching the conditions to federal funds. Now, we were talking about this yesterday or the day before on the county level, but we were talking about the county sheriff's department on how they rely on federal money.
Mhm.
What the government's done is given them money to have programs in place. Then guys are getting overtime, they get used to it, everybody likes having it,
And then they yank the money.
or they force you to do something.
Right.
You want to keep the
They
money?
change the rules.
Now you got it right. Now you got to play the game.
Yeah.
They ought to just, you know what? If we're up to me, and first of all, it's our money.
Right. Exactly.
It's not like it's their money.
You're giving us back our money.
Right, and we think that's, oh, well, they're giving us money.
That's so great. No, it's not great. Yeah, I dealt with this on the library level for many years, ever since I got a library degree and I joined the American Library Association, which is the union for librarians. Yeah, I know. And they, they're constantly saying, oh, urge the federal government to fund this and fund that. And I'm like, you know what? Local libraries need to live within their means. Local
Exactly.
libraries should be locally funded so that they can control their own stuff.
I totally agree. We're going to keep on this subject when we come back after these messages with more on Target Radio. And you are listening to AM560, The Answer. I'm going to keep this one going.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get to say my thing about the Q yet.
Yeah, we're going to keep this one going.
LGBT.
We'll go on.
RadioDeals.com traffic center.
Taking a look at your roadways in River Forest, eastbound North Avenue is closed between First and Thatcher. Clean up an investigation of an earlier.
You know, usually this guy is so soft you can't hear him. Now it sounds like he's like angry at the mic.
Did they just say there's a
South Ashland.
vehicle? Something in River Forest?
Indiana.
Yeah, that was on the TV.
Torrance with a car that hit the wall.
It was in
And elsewhere, you're delayed.
in the river.
River Grove.
Yeah,
River Grove.
Oh, River Grove.
When the display
That's where, yeah, the Des Plaines River. Okay.
Oh, I thought it did say River Forest.
Well,
River Grove, whatever.
That's what I thought he just said.
Back out the Stevenson.
Because the Des Plaines River goes through River Grove, River Forest, River Park. No, it's, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Forest Park goes through Forest Park,
Forest,
not
I
River
don't
Park.
think it hits River Forest.
Oh, it surely does.
It's not a long walk though.
No. I played on that river,
Okay.
and the trestle that went over. We used to go there and watch the river.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It goes through Thatcher Woods, George.
I know, I live a mile from it.
You live a mile from River Forest?
I live a mile from Thatcher Woods.
Where do you live now?
Manheim and North Avenue.
The Joe Walsh
It's more than a mile, dude.
Well, it's about a mile to get over to that Menards at First Avenue.
It's like 240 miles. You gotta take a flight.
So at 40th Avenue.
You just go down to Kittyland and turn left past Skips.
Kittyland's not there anymore.
Go, there's nothing there
Sam's Club
anymore.
there. Yeah, they put a Sam's Club there.
There's nothing there anymore.
Yeah, they put a Sam's Club in place of it.
No, well, I mean, vis-a-vis
you remember.
my experiential,
Previous millennium.
Database,
Previous millennium.
I'm not there anymore. We don't even own a house anymore.
That's right. What are you
Common
talking
sons of
about?
847-277-7258.
Two new messages. What the fuck?
That's 847-277-7258.
Oh, Kim Barron said hi, people.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did.
Now, we're going to
I was
figure out.
deleting something off of her page and I saw it.
1 minute.
Are you afraid of being audited? Do you
Hi, Kim.
taxes? Hi, I'm
Hmm.
a local Chicago intern and host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on AM560.
It's like digesting it.
I believe we're all put on this earth for a reason.
There it
I
is.
fix
It
IRS
came up.
problems for people
Except
just like you. And
it's-
I've helped hundreds
oh,
of Chicago
there, yeah, that's it.
from financial disaster. It's the IRS is attacking you with liens, levies, or garnishments. But if you have years of unfiled returns and unpaid taxes.
Did you see that conversation? She put up a picture of an outdoor space and that was in like Cowgirl magazine or something.
Oh, no.
And it was like, it had this really high ceiling and there was like a fireplace.
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
this was the other day.
Yeah.
Not today. Yeah, I
And
did see
then
it.
John Moran was commenting on it, like, because he didn't know, like, my house and stuff, and the joke was, the house I'm buying, and so he's like, I need to see pictures to understand what the hell y'all are talking about. So I put up a link to the Realtor.com page.
Yeah.
You're listening to On Target
I just took it
Radio
down.
on AM560 The Answer. David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen. More interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more on Target Radio. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. Is Obama overreaching? Is this executive order stuff getting out of control? We want to hear your opinion. Well, you laugh. It's,
Sorry. Sounds like a seriously rhetorical question.
yeah, it's not, and I should have been an evangelist. I could, yeah, I can do this.
Yep.
But here's the thing. So he's talking about he wants to expand control over local and state law enforcement by attaching conditions to the federal funds. So he's using coercion, obviously.
Yeah.
Now, I love this sentence. This is the federal government. Worse, it's the President of the United States. He's talking about implementing best practices.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes, the best practices probably are going to be best practices against people like us.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's one facet of it for sure.
Yeah, well, I think, he literally talks about law enforcement agencies should acknowledge the role of policing in the past and present injustice and discrimination and how it is a hurdle to the promotion of community trust.
Yeah, my doubt is high that that's actually what he's trying to accomplish or that he has any concern about that at all.
Gee, you think?
Yeah, I do.
I find it interesting that he would say that because we now know, sounds like last week's show,
Yeah,
we now know
we now know.
the Martians and Obama have been watching us for a long time. They sent people down to Ferguson intentionally to agitate race riots.
Yes.
There's your tax dollars at work.
They're shameless. There is nothing they won't do. There is nothing they will not do.
Then they use that as the reason why we have to federalize law enforcement and train them to not do that.
Right. Yeah. One of there's a couple of things. I love the euphemistic name of this report that he's referring to. Task Force on 21st Century Policing.
Yeah.
That's pretty euphemistic. And then it says that other recommendations from the report include law enforcement agencies should implement officer training covering policies for interactions with the LGBTQ population.
We had a discussion about that today.
Unfortunately, I actually do know what LGBT is, but what the heck is Q?
I told you, it's queer. You're looking at me like it is. See, George is nodding his head.
See, I was wanting our listeners to be like, yeah, what the heck?
And
then you answer the question. Thanks a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you thinking they were going to call in and answer the question?
No, I figured in their own homes they would be saying to themselves, yeah, what she said.
As you know, and not all of our listeners appreciate this, but as you know, I have absolutely no problem with gays. I'm not at all. And gay marriage, I think the word is a bad choice, but union, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. But the radical group of that, they call themselves like queers,
Mm-hmm.
as well as ultra radical rightists, ultra uber liberal left. I mean, I'm not picking on, I'm giving, there's enough to go around.
Mm-hmm.
They're all a bunch of whack jobs.
Well, I don't think anyone's arguing with you
They're
about that.
nutballs. They're nutballs. And Joe is going to tell us they're nutballs, aren't you, Joe? They're nutballs, aren't they, Joe?
The LGBT.
No, the radical, the fringe element of every group, the ones who do all the screaming and yelling, the 5 people in every radical fringe element group that get all the attention when the other 2.5 million don't.
Yeah, I see your point, although, Lombardo said, what is it, extremism in the cause of liberty is not wrong, or something like that.
Yeah, and frankly, I mean, I wouldn't try and quiet them. Don't get me wrong. I think you need people pulling in every direction, but it doesn't change the fact they're nutballs.
Did you have a prepared comment, Joe? He got you a little off track.
Off topic, but I'd like to ask NRA members who not voted for the forehead vote for 25 candidates other than Grover Norquist, because Grover Norquist has strong ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. And you can find that on the web. Center for Security Policy, Frank Gaffney. It's really shocking. Infiltrated the NRA. Infiltrated the federal government.
Gosh, that they infiltrated the federal government, I find shocking.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, sorry, I stuck my finger in an electric outlet. No, it seems perfectly logical to me. Well, I appreciate the call, Joe, and yeah, I don't actually know any of the people on the, you vote for the, do you, I don't know if I should ask this, but do you vote in the NRA thing?
No.
I used to religiously do it, and it occurred to me one day that I'd know like 2 names out of all of
Right.
them.
Same thing with the ALA. I stopped looking at the emails because
Yeah.
I don't know anything about any of these people.
Give us a call, 312-642-5600. Let's try and get back on the topic. The topic being Obama just overreaching, federalizing. Now, and let me take a step back. At this point, he's not suggesting yet,
Yes.
Making the county deputy a federal agent. Not that level of
It's not
federalizing.
One unified.
Correct. What he's doing is way more subtle and way more powerful, and that is he's saying, play the game or there's no money.
Mm-hmm.
And as we well know,
Everybody wants money.
everybody wants money.
Yeah, this article is from Freedom Outpost, and they're saying this has everything to do with being able to identify and target individuals and groups at a local level that Obama views as dissidents. So it's basically, I've said it before and I'll say it again, 1984 was supposed to be a warning, not an instruction manual. And he's using it as an instruction manual.
It is indeed. And one of the things I find honestly troublesome is the concept of the LGBTQ. They're talking about training law enforcement to deal with that for gender identity for arrest placement.
Again, I think that's just a smokescreen. I think it's just a distraction from the real thing. Now, okay, so what I was going to say is that if Freedom Outpost is correct and they're trying to identify dissidents according to Obama, he's only got 2 years left. So that only works if he declares martial law and he cancels the next election. That's because otherwise 2 years isn't even enough time to do anything to us people.
Do you
That would be
honestly
labeled dissident.
think that sounds that foreign?
No, I'm just saying that I'm actually saying that like a few years ago that sounded like a crazy conspiracy theory, and now it's starting to sound more
It's
like
not a crazy conspiracy theory.
yeah, it's actually starting to sound kind of logical.
Think about this. Ferguson's a good example. The federal government is intentionally trying to stir up racial dissidence.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know without a doubt, just as there are uber nutball leftists, there are guys on the right that are
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
right? They're pretty far out.
Yeah, there's reality shows about people with bunkers and things like
Yeah.
that.
So at some point, you keep pushing these. I mean, I'm hardly way off on the right. I'm rightist, but I'm hardly way off on the right. And I'm getting to the point where, you know, I'm going to start stockpiling ammo. What about these guys that we're seeing conspiracies when his name first surfaced for the presidency?
Mm-hmm.
You keep pushing those buttons, stirring up race riots intentionally, somebody's going to snap.
Some of these people are going to come out of their bunkers.
You
That's
betcha.
what you really don't want.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that could very well happen within the next 2 years, and then the king is going to go, well, you know, I mean, certainly we want democratic elections, but at the moment, it's
impractical.
Yeah, it's not the practical thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the Republicans in Congress, they don't have control of crap.
Yeah.
I've never seen such a bunch of
they've apparently
wusses.
all had their spines surgically removed. Yeah.
I am shocked at how much these Republican-controlled House and Senate, and how much they won't do.
Yeah, it is really amazing.
I don't understand. What does he have? Is he like holding a gun to their head, or
and
what's
you
going on?
were saying you would purposely, if you were in Congress, you would be purposely bringing things up for a vote so that he could veto them, so that later, like when we get to 2016, you can go, look, we tried to do this, this, and this, but he, you know, your Democratic president vetoed everything. That's why we need a Republican. I gave the example of, you know, they should vote for puppies and kittens for every family.
Yeah,
that wants one.
exactly. All right, we're going to be back after a few messages. We're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit about Obama now wants to raise your taxes through executive order. All that and more insanity on Target Radio. When we come back, and you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
I thought about saying, this actually happened when we looked at that little greenhouse. It had a place for a cistern in the basement, and I was like, oh, I can have my own bunker.
Cool.
Like, oh, it comes with a bunker.
You put shelves in, stock 25 years worth of food, NBE equipment.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Empty milk jugs for urine. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for that image.
What are you going to do?
Frankly, I've tried to never think about that too much.
You got to think about that stuff. I guarantee you Ed thought about it.
No, I don't have to.
Diane Feinstein, she is the leading candidate, whether it be Republican or Democrat, for the next president, to be the next president. And I think that she needs to step up and come out and state exactly what the situation is. Feinstein on NBC's Meet the Press, tens of thousands this weekend marking 50 years since the bloody Sunday march for voting rights across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama.
To think of what my forefathers went through so that I could have what I have today, very emotional. I'm just taking it all in.
Higher prices at the pump.
A jump of 21 cents to an average 2.54.
Industry analyst
When we come back, I have a comment on Facebook from Lee.
Actually, you have to do your commercial.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
Get
that.
from here to there. We've got
We don't follow our own script, is why. We just sort of flow.
Well, right.
The problem is we're flowing over waterfall.
Right.
So bring it back with that.
Okay. But Lee Herring made a good comment.
We did. Okay. That works.
Westbound traffic not affected.
So you're going to bring it in with commercial.
167th and Central, and multiple emergency crews responding in Waukegan to an injury crash at Lewis and Dugdale. Elsewhere, things moving well. No delays on the Edens or the Kennedy. Eisenhower clear right now in both directions, but he could see some traffic with the Blackhawk.
Somebody's on the phone.
Stevenson, Dan Ryan, I-57 and the Ford are all looking good. Lakeshore Drive from Hollywood all the way down to 67th and back are still clear. Tri-State, Jane Addams, Reagan and Bedford Memorial.
Raising taxes through an executive order. Can you do that?
Right now, 39 and overcast in Chicago, partly cloudy over the 28. Tomorrow, some sun. High near 46. Next update in 15 minutes on AM560 The Answer.
With an increasing number of Illinois concealed carry instructors having their credentials revoked, don't leave your training to chance. Sigma USA, Chicago's trusted name in firearm training, has trained almost 6,000 students to be responsible firearm owners. We're offering the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. Our program will actually prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm holster and ammunition selection, a comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble, and even how to deal with home invasion. We provide the firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invite you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program. For more information, visit saferusa.com or call 877-954-3030. That's 877-954-3030. Safer USA, choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has supported the rights and freedoms of Illinois citizens to keep and bear arms. For over 100 years, the ISRA has supported the use of firearms as a sword for personal protection and as a fundamental aspect of national defense. For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has been supporting you. Don't you think it's time you supported them? ISRA.org or 815-635-3198. The Illinois State Rifle Association, supporting you.
Did you need a makeover? Tired of your outdated bathrooms? Did a big questions and answers? The answer is Stone City. 2 million square feet of marble and granite countertops and 50 colors starting at $26 a square foot installed. Plus the latest appliances, cabinetry, faucets, and fixtures. Stone City designers transform your dream into reality. Stone City, 3053 West Grand in Chicago, or call 773-533-9806. That's 773-533-9806. Stone City, it's your home, only better.
According to Forbes magazine, Saudi Arabia's Prince Al-Walid with over $21 billion is the 35th richest person in the world. Being a Saudi prince, you just naturally assume he inherited his money, which I'm sure is partly true. However, he made a lot of his money by investing in banking and financial services, hotels and hotel management companies, mass media, entertainment, retail, agriculture, petrochemicals, aviation technology, and real estate all over the world. He's making money off about anything people buy anywhere. You may not be a Saudi prince, but you can make money on about anything people buy almost anywhere by getting your free blue card. The blue card is a loyalty rewards card that not only gets you discounts on purchases, but up to 5% cash back on what you buy. If you refer someone to the blue card, you could earn money on what they buy. And if you refer the blue card to a business, you could earn on the purchases of anyone who uses the blue card in their store or almost anywhere. There's a billion reasons why you should call 800-685-7470 and get your free blue card. That's 800-685-7470.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. If you love great Indian cuisine like we do, then you must experience Gaylord Fine Indian Cuisine in Schaumburg. David and I love Gaylord and eat there before the show. For over 38 years, 18 in Schaumburg, Gaylord has served an extensive menu of fine Indian cuisine. Signature dishes include tandoori jinga jumbo prawns, chicken tikka masala, or the tangy and hot South Indian specialty lamb vindaloo. All dishes are prepared using only quality fresh ingredients, including the elaborate $12.95 lunch buffet that's made fresh each morning. Manager Darren D'Abreu invites you to come early when they open at 11:30 weekdays and noon on weekends to taste the freshness for yourself. I recommend you skip breakfast and save your appetite. And Gaylord can accommodate business meetings or events for up to 60 people. Gaylord Fine Indian Cuisine is on Mall Drive, just south of the Woodfield Mall. Call 847-619-3300 or visit GaylordIL.com. Gaylord Fine Indian Cuisine is the Mercedes of fine Indian dining.
You know, we need to add mango kulfi into that ad somewhere.
Yeah, we can change the dishes. Or actually, the dishes that we order are not on that list. We should probably just change the live read to the things that we actually order, so that people, when they go there, they can go, hey,
They can be like David and Gretchen.
we want to be just like David and Gretchen.
I don't think there's a single twisted person on this planet that would say that.
Unfortunately, I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, that's probably true. Call 312-642-5600. Tell us if you like. No, that's not right. Weigh in a little bit here. Here's an interesting thing. Here's a very rare and unusual thing for the president. He's talking about an executive order. How often could he possibly want to do
No,
something?
that never happened.
Yeah. I wonder how many he actually has.
I read a number the other day. Now I don't remember what it was, but I did read it. I did read that the other day.
Usually executive orders are things like, wish happy birthday to somebody.
Right.
Not ban ammunition and that.
Right.
So here's the latest one. White House.
There's actually a quote though about that. The president has asked his team to examine the array of executive authorities that are available to him.
Well, that's nice. Maybe there may be more.
So they just have, he's got people just researching like
things he can do.
a variety of things.
Yeah.
You know, he can wish somebody happy birthday, but he can also raise our taxes.
Sure. Yeah, and you think he could look it up himself, Google it. They don't have Google on the golf course.
Right.
So here's the thing. White House Press Secretary, Josh Earnest, right? He actually said the president is, quote, very interested, unquote, in the idea of raising taxes through unilateral executive action, which I took to mean, an executive order, but now they're looking for options. Maybe there's other executive actions they can do, like, arming people and having them come out and point guns at your head and saying, do this. But here's the interesting thing. He goes on to say,
yeah. I love this.
This is the press secretary goes on to say, the president certainly has not indicated, I can't say, read this with a straight face.
Do you want me to do it?
The person, no, I like this. I like hearing my voice.
Okay.
The president certainly has not indicated any reticence in using his executive authority to try and advance an agenda that benefits middle-class Americans. Okay, let me think. If you're a middle-class American, give us a call and tell us how much it'll benefit you to have more money taken out of your paycheck.
To have your taxes raised.
Yeah, I want to hear from any middle-class American who's going to say it'll benefit them.
Right, who thinks that's going to be great.
I told you my Social Security, they increased my Social Security monthly payment.
No, you didn't tell me that.
And it put me too high, and now I have to pay more for Medicare, and I actually make almost $100 a month less.
Somehow, I think that was premeditated.
Well, you know what?
Somehow that doesn't seem like an accident.
So what am I going to say? Obama says his preferred option would be for Congress to pass a corporate tax hike, which would be used for projects like mass transit, which are real popular with people. But if Congress fails to do as he wishes, just as Congress has failed to pass the immigration reforms, Obama could take actions unilaterally. This past November, for example, Obama gave work permits, Social Security numbers, and driver's licenses to approximately 4 million illegal immigrants. And what that translates into over the next 10 years, it will raise the federal deficit by $8.8 billion.
And that's according to the Congressional Budget Office. That's not some right-wing think tank saying that.
Exactly.
That's the CBO.
Under Obama administration. So you can't make this stuff up.
No.
And what I don't understand, seriously, with all of this stuff going on, how the Republicans, they just go in and unlock their little vote button and ignore it.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I mean, we were all so excited in November when we handed their butts to them, and now this.
And
now,
then what?
Now they're just sitting on their hands.
They haven't done anything.
Yeah.
They haven't done a darn thing. I don't understand.
It's really shocking.
Do people, how can you not put all this stuff together?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
At first I didn't want to believe it, but it's getting so obvious now that you can't really ignore it.
Were you listening to the show when Eric Zorn was on?
No.
And who I like Eric Zorn. I like him. It turns out after having talked to him, he's a really great guy, very nice guy. We have different opinions. But he told me that it was a fantasy, this whole thing. And it's all happening.
Yeah.
We're going to be back to a few more messages with more on Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
Stuff for traffic.
Did you want to go back to ammo?
From the Chicago Radio
Yeah. I think, we can take ammo, but what do you think about the homeschooling thing?
Eastbound North Avenue closed between First and Thatcher. That's for cleanup and investigation of earlier.
Well, I mean, we could do an entire show about homeschooling as far as I'm concerned, but
You got somebody who can come out and do it.
Injuries at 167th and Central. And
they
in
would have to
Waukegan, a
take
couple
numbers.
veterans responding to a injury crash at
I know
Lewis
a
and
lot
Dugdale.
of people.
Over on CTA's Blue Line,
I actually
your
did a
center
research
traffic
paper on it in
subway
college.
closes
Want to
until
do show on
tomorrow
homeschooling?
morning. Give yourself some extra time.
You
Now,
could,
the earlier
if you want
delay
to.
on Red Line because of an earlier sick passenger at Madison is all cleared up. Elsewhere, things
I
moving well on
homeschool
the
almost
expressways
every one
and
of my little
tollways. No
computers.
delays east
I don't
of Kennedy.
necessarily think we
Outbound side
need to do a
Avenue
show on
Expressway
homeschooling, but if you
and
want to, we certainly
Right now,
could.
39
I know
degrees and
tons of
overcast.
people who do
Chicago
it.
Maybe we'll do this.
overhead low.
We'll do a show.
On Monday, sunny, a high near 46. Next update in 15
No, that
minutes on
wasn't an
AM560 The Answer.
That was a pick A or B, not an okay. Okay is
No,
a million.
I'm looking at this article and trying to figure out what's in it.
Well, we can do this and still do it. What do you want to do about the, oh, why don't we talk about ammo? All right, we'll talk about it.
It's on Target Radio. I think we should talk about ammo.
Okay, fine. You win. Radio. Here we go. What is it? 855?
Yeah. It's hard to say. M855.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's really hard to say.
You know how all this started, don't you? They made a pistol out of an AR-15.
Oh, right.
That's how it all started.
Right. Or a pistol that can shoot that ammo.
No, it's an AR.
Oh.
And they had that arm brace. You read about that? Well, and then the question that was asked is, what if you use the arm brace and put it against your shoulder? Oh, that's a rifle.
If you're in the middle of your career and worry you'll never have enough money to retire, you need to
Smoke and mirrors. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Well, I actually
What if
don't.
you make it out of wood instead of black plastic?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean,
Then,
it's all
then it's a hunting
it's smoke
pistol
and mirrors.
rifle.
It's insanity.
I don't actually think it did start with that, though. I think it actually started with Obama looking for a backdoor way to get rid of
Well,
the
sure,
modern
sure.
sporting
But I
rifle.
mean, by you're right, absolutely. What I mean by started this way is that's what gave him.
They wanted to try to regulate lower and upper receivers.
Right.
So they could, because if you could regulate the stoner receivers, then you could regulate the whole class.
But you can only regulate what has the number.
1-800-708.
Which they had already said.
Right.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
So this M855 ammo ban. Let me get a little background on this. This ammo was considered by ATF to be armor piercing, which is really nebulous to begin with.
Way back to 1986.
Yeah,
This was the
this goes way back.
1986 definition.
But they gave it an exemption. They said it was for sporting purpose, blah, 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 blah.
So, okay, so we give it a pass.
So they gave it a pass, exactly. Now, the kind of interesting thing in this is, and I want to read it. Says what it says. This is what ATF proposal says. The firearm industry has developed commercially available handguns. This is an AR-15 is now, you can get an AR-15 handgun, basically, designed to use conventional rifle ammunition. This ammunition meets the content requirement of the definition, but previously was not classified as armored piercing under the statute because there were no handguns that could use it. As a result of the availability of these handguns, however, some conventional rifle ammunition now falls within the statutory definition and is properly classified as armored piercing ammunition, despite the fact that the ammunition itself has not changed. Consequently, ammunition manufacturers requested exemptions for the ammunition. So what's happened is, and by the way, I do want to say something before we even go down this road. There are people who are saying all 223, 5.56 ammunition will be banned and you'll never be able to use it. That's not what's happening. I'm not suggesting that what's happening is okay, but I want to point out that it doesn't affect other types of 223 or 5.56.
Sure.
Okay,
That's
so
what they're calling green tip.
it's what we call green tip because
It's green.
it has a green tip. So, but here's the thing. Under ATF's rules, armor-piercing ammunition is not lead. Now, there's a list of metals it can be, but lead isn't one of them.
And it was like, it has to have a combination of two of these metals on the list, and technically M855 does not fall into that.
Correct.
It doesn't
855 does have a little bit of metal inside of it, but it's predominantly a lead bullet. Okay, so right from the get-go, it shouldn't be on the list anyway. But the interesting thing, and this is where it gets, and you know, for those of you who see shadows in the night and conspiracies, we have two high-speed freight trains approaching an intersection at the same time. One is you can't have ammo that has metal. That's any metal other than lead.
Mhm.
Okay. However, at the same time, they're trying to ban lead ammo.
Right. In California, they've already done it.
Exactly. And so, you know, on the surface, you go, okay, well, it's one type of ammunition. Is it that big a deal? And being that it's one type of ammunition, you can say, well, it's not that big a deal. But the fact is, it is.
It is a big deal.
It's a bigger deal than a lot of people really. First of all, people are going, oh, they're going to ban all ammo. We may. That's not true. Oh, well, then it's okay. Well, actually, it's not.
No.
It's
We're
not
not
okay
saying it's okay. We're
Right.
just saying it's not
for a different reason.
all at once. The thing that I'm a little confused about is, you know, the NRA and the ISRA, they're encouraging us to comment to the ATF, to BATFI, about our feelings about this and what we think about this change in the definition and the ban and blah, blah, blah. But it sounds to me like Obama's going to issue an executive order and it's not going to make any difference. So I'm a little confused about, you know, what the actual process is that's actually going on.
Coming out of aviation, you know, for all the years that I was in the aviation field, where it's heavily regulated, like
Yeah.
firearms are,
Mhm.
and you have notice of proposed rulemaking and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The fact of the matter is, this has been in the works for a long time
Right.
because that system races down the railroad track like a turtle. Okay, so really, they've been working on this a lot longer than people realize.
Right.
This has been in the plan for quite some time.
Right.
And calling your congressman or writing letters to ATF, they like to say, well, it's public comment. They don't
Yeah.
give a rat's butt about public comment.
Right.
The only salvation in this system is if those lame-ass Republicans get off of their duff and actually stop it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There's no other way this is going to be. Obama's not going to go, oh, I made a mistake. ATF's not going to go, we're not going to do that. You have to get, and your letters don't mean squat.
So what do you think about Good Latte's letter?
I think there's a lot of, he says stuff in there that doesn't make sense. First of all, the fundamental point is it shouldn't be constitutional to begin with.
Right.
And he's giving it credence. And he's wanting to know, what are you going to do? How are you going to define it? My question is they shouldn't be letting him do it at all.
Right. It's completely unconstitutional.
And here's the thing.
So do you think, I mean, the NRA was encouraging us to encourage our listeners to encourage our legislators to sign on to Good Latte's letter. So should we not do that?
No.
Or should we still do that?
It's not that it doesn't hurt anything to do it. I mean, you know, it certainly isn't a negative thing. But the point is, you are not going to change the President of the United States' mind. He doesn't care what you think.
Well,
Remember?
Yeah.
We're clutching our guns and Bibles.
I'm well
okay?
aware of that.
And you're not
aware of that.
You're not going to change ATF by writing letters.
I'm the person that when I teach concealed carry, I point out the fact that we don't get to kill people for treason.
And that's probably a problem.
For me, it is.
The only way you can get this turned around is to put pressure on the people who have the power of the purse strings.
Mm-hmm.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, are the people in Congress. If they fear their jobs,
more specifically the House of Representatives.
The House of Representatives. If they fear their job, if they fear retaliation from the voters, something will happen. And short of that,
okay, so write to legislators and tell them that you want that ammo protected.
That's it. All right.
Good Latte.
And good luck. We're going to be back with more on Target Radio. We're going to wrap the whole thing up. Pass around green tip ammo for everybody here.
Woohoo!
After these messages. And you are listening to AM560 The Answer.
With an increasing number of Illinois concealed carriers representing their credentials revoked, don't leave
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
I was going to go ahead and chime in with this on the air, but there wasn't really a good opportunity. I just wanted to let you know you can't say duff.
Responsible firearm owners.
He didn't say duff. He said
You can't say duff.
Duff.
Yeah, you could say lame ass congressman, but you can't say get off their duff. This is Salem.
I thought he said butt.
He said duff.
I thought you said butt.
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh. He's being sarcastic.
You can't tell.
I couldn't.
I mean,
it was indecipherable.
Right. It's George. Is George always sarcastic? Yeah, probably. Probably always sarcastic. How much time you need?
954
2 minutes.
That's
Dos minutos, all right.
3030.
It's actually minutos, but yeah.
Is your business. Teaching your own
Okay, team, we need a 3-player win. Horrible idea. Nonsense. Get it all right here, man.
2 minutos, eh?
The sauce is flowing in Orland.
What?
The sauce is flowing in Orland.
There you go.
Must have got a drunk.
Well, that'll liven up the show.
Well, there's nothing better than I tried to get him on the air, and he's like,
Oh.
People don't realize half the people that call radio stations don't actually want to go on air. They just want to vent to me,
I didn't realize
Well, that's
that.
nice.
as if I care.
You're ready to go with that, right?
Alright.
Okay.
Our guests include David and Gretchen,
15.
and Fritz and everything's included. Sale September 13th through the 20th. Join us for the
We got a compliment on Ustream. We got a compliment on the Ustream. The guy says it's great.
Yeah, I answered him.
Oh.
On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And I'm back with more on Target Radio and the moments you wait for every week to find out how you can spend the upcoming week.
Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
If you enjoy On Target Radio but don't have anything to advertise, please consider making a donation to help keep On Target Radio on the air. Go to otmediagroup.net and click on Target Radio and Sponsorship to see the Buy Now PayPal button. The link is on our Facebook page. Only 10 days to iGold. Join us at Illinois Gun Owners Lobby Day, Wednesday, March 18th in Springfield. If you would like to ride a charter bus to Springfield, sign up online. There are 13 bus locations being organized in various parts of the state. Either go to isra.org and click Ride the iGold Bus right on the homepage, or use the link on our Facebook page. The following Safer USA classes are all at our office in Waterman. Saturday and Sunday, March 14th and 15th, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and Gretchen and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry, as well as Florida, Arizona, and Utah. Saturday, March 21st, Illinois Concealed Carry 2 for those who have an exemption for the first 8 hours, taught by Gretchen. Saturday, March 28th, Women's Concealed Carry Issues, taught by Gretchen. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register. And John on Facebook says the live Ustream is great.
We like John on Facebook. He said that on Facebook.
He said on Facebook.
Watching it on Ustream.
Apparently.
Or he could have said it on Ustream.
Apparently.
I don't like it confused.
Yes.
I'm already confused.
Very confused.
Is nobody out there? Actually, Lee Rohan is. Now, we got a message from a good friend of ours, Lee.
We got a couple of messages from him.
Yeah, who he gets it. He gets it. Because Lee's had his issues with members of law enforcement. He's not done anything illegal, don't get me wrong.
That's not what we're saying.
No, I didn't mean to imply that. I didn't mean to imply that. But he's been hassling about something, and you know. But the point is, I guess I'm shocked that people they've discounted little, one thing after another, after another, after another. Oh well, okay, well, yeah.
Well, the reason for this is because of
Right. Nobody's connecting the dots, or am I just? Am I the nutball?
I wouldn't say nobody. I wouldn't say nobody's connecting the dots. I mean, we know many people who think like we do and are connecting the dots.
Are we the nutballs?
Well, I think I am. I'm the one that was looking at a house to possibly buy it, and I go, "Oh, look, it's got a bunker." I was really
It's
excited.
called a cistern. George raised his hand, saying,
One man's cistern is another woman's bunker.
There you go. There you go. We'll just stock it with Oreos. I don't know.
What? I don't even eat Oreos.
We need to talk about this whole thing more. I mean,
Yes, we do.
you've said, oh, he only has 2 years left. Look what he's doing already.
Oh, I'm not saying he's done plenty. Like every 2 years, he screws us over royally. But I'm not saying that he can't do that. I'm just saying identifying individuals on a local level, that to me implies he's going to need a longer timeline.
I don't think so.
Okay.
He's listening to your phone calls. He's reading your. He's not, but you know what I'm saying.
Well,
that's a metaphor.
But I've heard other people say that he is just going to nullify the next election and just keep being president, and he's just a dictator, which he already is. I mean, he already is a dictator.
A great man.
He's
and
just
50
gonna
words of wisdom an hour
embrace
ago
it.
on that very subject.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I really don't. Anyway, we certainly.
Oh, since I know Lee Groharing is listening, Lee, don't let the Eagle bus leave without me.
There you go. All right, thank you for listening to On Target Radio. Be sure to listen next week when our old friend Ed Ronkowski is going to be back talking about warrantless searches.
We'd also like to thank George Hoffman on the board, our sponsors, Gaylord's Fine Indian Cuisine, DS Arms, Illinois State Rifle Association, the Aurora Sportsman's Club, Stone City Kitchen and Bath Design Center, and Safer USA.
Make sure you give us a listen next week. And thanks, Mike, for making it all happen. Where's
I was just gonna say, where's our sports guy?
Where's Gangler?
He just walked in.
There he is. Dun, 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 dun.
A major reason for
Gangler.
It's a shopping and more.
Okay, don't pull the plug yet.
That's right.
I'm not.
No charge.